How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Grip Lock, Foundation Disc Golf's weekly podcast. I'm Hunter, joined by Trevor. No Connor today, and also irrelevant to the show, but no Silas today.
Well, it is relevant to the show.
Well, we couldn't do Silas Selects because Connor's not here anyways.
But it's just knowing that he's not there.
Yeah.
You know?
So double trouble, both gone. Just got Trev and I today. We're gonna go through the start of the Go Throw Tour. The first event for the Go Throw Tour happened. We'll go over that. We'll do a little Trevor's trivia. We're starting a Pick'em versus Tour Life that we'll go over today, which will be a good time. And then we got a bunch of questions from Instagram to wrap up the show. So it should be a good show today. Lots to talk about in disc golf. But before we get into that, let's take a moment to thank our sponsors. BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting, from earliest odds to in-game parlays. I just exited out of my read. From earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, head to BetOnline today, and don't forget to use promo code BLEAV for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Gooder. Gooder are our favorite sunglasses. We absolutely love them. You've probably seen us wearing them on our YouTube series, Course Conquest, before, but Gooder sunglasses are great for a number of reasons. They're lightweight, they're comfortable, they don't slip off while you're playing disc golf. 100% polarized sunglasses. They come in tons of different styles and shapes, and here's what makes them even better. They start at just $25 a pair. They're super affordable, so you can have lots of different pairs, and you're going to want them. Once you get one, you're just going to want more and more. These things are perfect. We've been using them for so long. We love working with Gooder, and I own like 5 pairs myself at this point. And if you're not sure about trying one out, well, here's the good news. They also have a 1-year warranty and a 30-day free return policy, so you can be comfortable trying out that first pair of Gooders. And they're offering us a special discount. If you go to gooder.com/griplock and use code griplock, you can get free shipping on that first pair of Gooders. So make sure to go to gooder.com. That's GOODR.com/griplock and use code griplock to get free shipping on some Gooder shades. And check them out.
Heck yeah, Gooder's been awesome.
They're the best.
They're phenomenal. And every time we do a Gooder read, people in the comments let you know how awesome Gooder are.
I know.
Because they're all like,
movement.
They love Gooder. Everyone loves Gooder. But we had this past weekend the Go Throw Cancer Playbook. I put open. I think it was invitational, but it doesn't matter. Open. It was the open. Cancer Playbook Open went down in Texas. So this was the kickoff of the Go Throw Tour. If you don't know what the Go Throw Tour is, essentially GK Pro rebranded to Go Throw, and then they started a disc golf tour. And the tour is unsanctioned, happening on off weekends of the Disc Golf Pro Tour. Has a decent payout. I actually don't know if the payout for this weekend has been posted. But they had been
the purses though at one point.
They had been promoting like the winner was going to get $20,000 at certain ones, like I know the Eagles Crossing one, and so there was draws for players to play in these. Obviously, the coverage is going to be on GK Pro now Go Throw YouTube channel, which the coverage is already up, which we'll talk about. Actually, we'll kick it off with the coverage because you were able to follow this on UDisc, not UDisc Live like the good old days, but you were able to go to like the events on UDisc and then track it just like you're tracking like your local league or something where just the scores are coming in.
Yeah, because keep in mind, these are unsanctioned events.
Exactly.
Bad boy events.
Unsanctioned events here. So there was 2 rounds out there. And so as it was going on, I was watching it just like I consume any disc golf content, where if there's live coverage, I'm going to watch live. If there's not live coverage, well, then I'm going to watch the live scoring. So I was watching the live scoring as it was coming in on UDisc. But then the coverage comes out. And so I wanted to go see GK Pro's always had solid coverage, so I knew it was going to be a good product. But I just wanted to kind of go see how it was doing, what was going on. And this was Sunday. I just left church. So it was right at like 11:45, 12. And I was like, went on, and they were premiering the coverage. And so I was like, oh, okay. Cool, perfect timing. So I hopped in the premiere a little bit and watched it some, and then as I was watched through a little bit of it, but like the premiere, I would have had to sit and I couldn't have skipped through anything.
Right.
And I just I'm just trying to watch the coverage. I was gonna skip through the fluff, so I was like, I'll come back later. And then I Googled to try to find the results because I couldn't get to it on my phone. Long story short, and I found a Reddit thread that was saying like, why is this coverage members only? And I was like, what is that even? Like, I was just watching the coverage. What is this guy talking about?
Reddit was on top of it.
And so I clicked on it, and it was like from 2 hours earlier. And so apparently what had happened, and I didn't get to witness this because, like I said, I jumped in when it was already premiering. But apparently what had happened was around like 9 or 10 a.m. Eastern time, GoThrow had published the round 1 front 9 as a member only. So only the members of their YouTube channel could watch it. But here's the problem is from what I saw and like on their website and stuff, that I didn't see anything announcing this was how it was going to be released.
Yeah.
So it caused some confusion where a lot of people on Reddit and stuff thought this is going to be a pay-per-view. Like I'm going to have to be a member to watch this. And then that got people upset, which makes sense. Like of course people get upset by that if you thought you were going to watch it for free and then you couldn't. So that got people upset. And then the back 9 did the same thing. So you had it like 2 hours before go to members only and then premiere and then it's available to the public. And then the back 9 did a very similar model, which the model I have no problem with. But I think what was confusing to me, and luckily I wasn't in this situation, but what I felt the people's frustration on was if you didn't know this was coming, which I don't know how you would have. I haven't checked their like Instagram stories and stuff to see if there was like better broadcasted there, but like their website, stuff like that, you couldn't see this was coming.
Yeah.
Then when it did drop, you could have thought, well, I'm going to have to pay if I want to watch this today. You could have thought it was going to be a 24-hour a week. You didn't know.
Yeah, it may be like a hindsight 2020 where now they may not have thought of the kind of perception because like in their minds they might have just thought, okay, the people who don't know, they'll just get there, see it's for members only, and just assume that it'll be for everybody later. But in reality, that's not the assumption that'd be drawn. The assumption is that it's just a private YouTube video that everybody's gonna have to pay to get to. And so maybe they just overlooked that because the reason I say that is because if you weren't overlooking that, if you saw that as a possibility in your mind's eye, heck, I just would have given up and not done it at that point. Or you have to make it so like obvious to everybody that that's what's happening so that there is no mistaking
well, the other thing I'm wondering
what their policy is.
The other thing I'm wondering is there is a way, like if you publish to members that the public can't see it. I'm wondering if it was just a mistake. Like I'm wondering if it was supposed to go.
You would want them to see it if you're trying.
You would want to if you're to capitalize.
Capitalize.
But I'm saying with how little it was publicized to the public of hey, it's going to be released this way, then this way. With how little I saw that, and again, I could have just missed it, but with how little I saw it, I'm wondering if it was a situation where they were trying to just publish it to their members of like, hey, you guys get this a few hours early. We're going to premiere it at 12. And then it accidentally went to where the public could see it. And then the public's like, what the frick? I didn't know I had to pay to see this. And like, it was because to me, if it wasn't intentional, which I don't know if it was intentional, we're not going to tell anyone. Yeah. Which again, I can't verify they didn't tell anyone. But from what I could tell, they didn't tell anyone. If this wasn't intentional, we're not going to tell anyone. We're going to publish it and let it sit for several hours without telling anyone when it's premiering just and going to be free. That's kind of scummy.
Well, yeah.
If that was intentional.
No
I think there was a mistake somewhere along the line,
or
it just got overlooked because like that's just kind of sketchy business if it's like we're throwing this out there, it's members only, you have no idea when it's going to unlock, you buy it at $11.50 because you want to watch it, and then 12 o'clock it premieres and you're like, what the crap, I just paid $5.
In either case, I'm sure now once the members have, even anybody who joined, whether it was beforehand or not, I'm sure most of them are probably like, okay, so I would just get it a couple hours later. That's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Yeah, but
especially since it's kind of the niche tour.
With that being said, coverage is doing very well. 76,000 views in the first 20 hours on the front 9, additional 34,000 on the back 9. So far for round 1, there's 2 rounds. Round 2 hasn't been published yet as of recording this, so can't really watch the back 9 yet.
The kicker, so yeah, the views are pretty good. You'd have to imagine those. I mean, that's early for those views. Like that's pretty good. So I think the kicker is right now everybody's really hungry for disc golf coverage, so that's definitely going to help. I'll be curious to see what their numbers are later in the year when people kind of had their fill. I'd also be curious to know, I think one of the best things they do have going for them is like the courses that they're going to aren't normally explored. So like for instance, this Hideaway Ranch they were just at, we had numerous people in Texas coming up to us trying to get us to go play. Like people will care about that course, so that's going to help because people want to watch it for that reason. And like when they go to Eagles Crossing, I think that will give them a bump because people just like watching pros play there. So I think that does help them. But like I said, you would expect the views to be the highest of probably the entire year on this first event just because of the hype. But we'll see.
Yeah, it will be interesting too because they're going to have the skins.
What are they getting from
playing in and stuff like that?
Because they're doing skins as well.
Skins from this event have not dropped, which I believe the original plan it was to do skins leading up to it.
What are they normally getting on like a skins?
So right now they have a bunch of the New
minute.
Zealand stuff, and that's, the New Zealand skins aren't really a fair judge, but the New Zealand itself was getting decent views. Let me try to get back to some normal.
Been a lot of Tour Down Under.
Yeah, they did a lot of the Tour Down Under, which was great off-season
They're good
content.
at thumbnails.
Okay, OTB skins USDGC got 67,000 front nine.
That had to be one of the bigger ones.
Let's see. Where's some more skins? Failure Lake front nine got 116,000, which that plays to what you're saying of like people wanted to see Failure Lake.
Right.
Maple Hill got 142,000.
Okay.
So the right skins will pop off.
So it looks like they'll be able to probably match or get more views with the 2 rounds of coverage or the front 9 back 9 of coverage. Oh yeah, and that's only 1 round.
Yeah, there's another round coming.
So they're going to get more views this way.
Yes. But there is a lot more effort going in to get those more views. So that is always the question as well. But I believe the skins is still coming. But no, their stuff in general does well. So it'll be very interesting to watch that. But as far as the tournament goes, we had Gannon Buhr taking it down over Emerson Keith in second, Raven Newsom in third.
It's a Mickey Mouse
When
win.
you hear that, you might be thinking, oh, Gannon was the only player there. No offense to Emerson or Raven, but their name's just normally not towards the top. But let me back them up.
Raven just took 24th.
Well, I was about to back him up because that's not true. Because, came in fourth, Niklas Antila. Nikola Castro was out there. Adam Hammes was out there. There was Isaac Robinson was out there, although I don't see his name anymore. Luke Taylor was out there.
Isaac shoot?
Did Isaac DNF? What happened to Isaac? He was definitely playing the first round. He's on coverage. Am I just missing him?
May have been a
Sir
yikes.
Robinson. There he is. 5 over second round.
Dude,
even round 1.
My biggest takeaway from this tournament is this course is evil. There's 8 people even or better, and then everybody just got annihilated.
The course was definitely tough.
The
Conditions
I guess.
sucked. The conditions sucked. If you watched the first round, they were like, you felt Texas mud before.
Yeah, it's impossible.
They were basically playing 18 holes of Texas mud.
It's just it was wearing concrete on your shoes.
Yeah, it was very rough, which is unfortunate for this course because it gives you you didn't get to see it. Which again, today's coverage, the second round coverage, maybe it was bright, sunny, and everything was dry. It's not out yet. I can only go off of the first round. The first round, first round
Grip Lock Curse
conditions sucked.
Texas mud. You know how people in areas love to overestimate their signature hardships of their area.
For sure.
People in Lynchburg would say about the rain, and I'm like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And I didn't live here my whole life. I remember on the West Coast, people would be like, oh, the mosquitoes, and they were actually bad. But Texas mud.
The Arizona heat, people were acting like we were going to die out there.
Fine.
Yeah.
Humidity is worse. I hate to break it to you. The Texas mud is everything you ever wanted lived up to.
People can't hype it up enough.
You can't, you are not prepared to walk from one hole's basket to the next tee pad and have an additional 10 pounds on your feet. And
and there's no way to get it off.
No, and the tee pad is already covered in mud. It is a disaster.
Yeah, the Texas mud is no joke. So they were dealing with that. But
they need to have like horse racers rip goggles off. They need to have soles on the bottom of their shoes.
Rip the shoes off. That's funny. But Gannon was able to get to 11 under overall, 6 under round 1, 5 under round 2.
Quite a feat, it would seem.
Yes. And then
what did it rate
9,
on UDisc?
277 was his rating on UDisc. Someone
best
said
player in the world.
283 round 1. Someone said that you have to look at UDisc rating as bowling scores.
Yes.
Yes. And that just really changed things because 277, dirty bowler.
Yeah, good round.
So that's phenomenal.
But
great.
Best in the world that won an event against some of the other best in the world.
But you got to think of the conditions. He's not bowling a 300 in those conditions.
You're right. It is, conditions.
When a 300's that's as good as we're going to get.
We'll wait and see.
Yeah, so 277 round 2, 283 round 1 for Gannon Buhr out there. Let's actually see the bottom of the leaderboard. Yeah, there was the Heat DNF'd. I was like, how do you shoot a 31 rated round? Okay. But a decent showing of pros out here. Decent, there were several names
I thought there was going to be more.
I was expecting a little bit more for sure. I did find it interesting that Gavin Babcock, Alden Harris, Ezra Robinson, the rest of the vlog squad wasn't out there.
Gavin was. I saw his name.
Oh, Babcock was.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I saw his name on there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
There you go. He shot 2 over. Came in 9th place. Well, let me make sure Alden Harris, I wasn't lying. I didn't see his name. Alden's not there. And Ezra is not there. Okay, so
we would have been in a bad spot if we missed out on Ezra being
I was pretty positive he wasn't. Then on FPO side, FPO field was a little bit weaker. You had 9 players total. You had Kat Merch take it down over Rebecca Cox, and then Maria Oliva came in third. Overall, this course was it looked fine. It was again very hard to tell like anything about it because of how bad the conditions were. So like players, what I can say is conditions good or bad, the rough sucked. Like the rough was bad. You did not want to get in the rough. But it looked like a good time other than the conditions had made it look miserable, so I'm not really going to judge it by too much. I think this was a fine first event. The other issue I had with this Go Throw Tour is their website. Really
tough.
Rough. Well, what I discovered literally when I was pulling the website up is there's 2 websites. So there's GoThrowDG.com.
I noticed that too.
This website on their phone, both websites on their phone broken, which like 90% of your traffic is going to come from mobile. So you got to focus on mobile first.
Let's talk about analytics.
But GoThrowDG.com on your phone, first off, nothing loads up top. So I don't know what's supposed to be there, but nothing is there. And then when you scroll down, it's just selling tickets. So the like Persimmon Ridge is already up. When I was going to this website trying to find information about this tour, like that's just going on
they're
now.
on to the next one.
This was even as of like yesterday. So then
on to the next one.
I went to like Go Throw Tour, and then it takes you to GoThrowTour.com.
Yeah.
Which on the phone brings up again just Persimmon Ridge. You don't really get much if I go to hit. Like I can't find the leaderboard on the phone on their website. If you go on there on computer, both websites make a lot more sense, look a lot better. You can hit leaderboard, and it brings up the leaderboard on.
I like the little Luke Humphreys like point.
Yeah,
That's fun.
On the computer desktop, it brings up the leaderboard eventually.
It struggles a bit.
But what we discovered,
I had to refresh.
What we discovered was it doesn't like not everyone's scores are in, and I can't tell if you could have watched live scores on here.
Surely not. They've only got the front 9 in for like most players, and Gannon is currently at 6 under.
So to me, what I would have had is just like there should have been a big link somewhere of like follow, but maybe they don't want people to watch live. Maybe they don't want people checking scores because the coverage isn't out.
Anti-live.
Maybe I don't know. But the UDisc was working fine. So I feel like you should have just directed everyone to UDisc.
That is true. I guess they actually don't want people to look at the live scores.
But then why put the leaderboard here at all?
It might just be for post event.
I don't know. It was very hard to find information in general. Like if you go to the Cancer Playbook Open on the tour schedule, so you have to go to GoThrowTour.com, then go to tour schedule, then you can finally find Cancer Playbook. No, not .gov. Cancer Playbook Open, and then when you click there, you can get over to their YouTube, which finally is where you can find the coverage. So, to me, what's weird about all of this to me, and I said this from back at like GK Pro, when GK Pro changed to Go Throw, that felt rushed because they were posting like GK Pro skins, and the GK Pro like branding was still on the skins graphic back then, and is now changed. They were like like everything just felt like that came out of nowhere.
Right.
They announced the Go Throw Tour. Well, then like from there to now, you had months to figure out to make the website be like, hey, people are going to be coming to our website looking for information about the event that's going on this weekend that we're hyping people up to. Like we should have a list of players attending, really easy to find, like especially for ticket sale. And maybe on the ticket sale website it is. But again, there's so many different places to go.
Yeah, which URL are we going to,
I feel like
it's like trying to find an article on the Pro Tour website.
Yeah, it just felt like there was a lot of like, this stuff should have been ironed out forever ago, and it's not. And like that was kind of frustrating to me. But the actual coverage product itself, which is like the product that's getting put together that the majority of people are going to, and phenomenal. It looked great.
Yeah.
The commentary was solid. It's getting very good views. It provided us with exactly what we wanted. More disc golf to watch during the season. So it checks all of those boxes. It's just a lot of the little details got to get figured out. And then the big question for me is this first event makes a lot of sense. You're on the way to Waco. People know the Waco courses. This is a good opportunity to play. And we saw who it drew, probably maybe like 10 to 15 of the top players. That's probably being very generous. Probably like 5 of the top players. So 6 months from now, 5 months from now, towards the end of the year, what are these Go Throw Tour events still drawing?
It just depends on the money, Like if the money's there, the good players are still going to go just because.
Another great thing to be on the website.
Yeah, for sure. And because the interesting thing too about like the logistics and the website and stuff is like at the end of the day, it just depends on what they're trying to be. I mean, you look at some of these web designs and you're like, wow, they're really going for it. But it's like at the end of the day, all that the consumers really care about is that this is a coverage product for them. It's not. Most people aren't really going to think of it as a tour. They're just looking at it as another disc golf round to watch on YouTube. So at least they have that part of it down, and I'm curious to see like how much they really invest time and energy into other things, because at that point it's just because you're trying to be more of a competitive tour and not just like a, hey, it's another disc golf video you can watch. But yeah, I think the players will continue showing up as long as there's money. Like, unless the events prove to be some kind of disaster otherwise, like on the scene, but it's 2 rounds. Like, I mean, if you're Gannon, what a nice little payday. Like, I assume he made at least $5,000 just going out there for 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, that's a good day. So yeah, I think it'll, if the money is there, the players will show up.
Yeah, no, it'll definitely be interesting to watch. I also couldn't get a gauge on like how many tickets they were selling. It looks like for Persimmon Ridge, which is the next one coming up at the end of March, you have basically, if you want to be a part of the if you want to watch the OTB Tour skins and play in the Beat the Pros event, it's $50. If you want to watch a 1-day pass, it's $25 for Saturday, $25 for Sunday, $45 if you want to come to both days, $85 if you want to go to all 3 days, and then the VIP pass, which is Wednesday through Sunday, is $500.
That's what I'm saying is I think they're a little confused at what they are. Like, the Disc Golf Pro Tour shouldn't even be charging $25 for a single day ticket. Like, you are not a disc golf tour. You are a traveling, like almost like just a traveling spectacle. And I know that sounds like the definition of a tour, but like there's not enough structure to it. It's more of a one-time hit. And so like, I don't know. It's interesting what they're doing. I just don't know what their end game is. I guess that's where I'm confused is like, what is their vision of like, this is where we want to go? Are we just trying to make good disc golf videos that fit into the Pro Tour's inner workings, or are we actually trying to like build this tour that's going to compete with the Pro Tour at some point?
I don't know if they know.
I don't think they do either. Yeah.
I think it was all of this to me, and this is from no inside knowledge, so this could be completely off the wall, completely wrong.
Whoa.
This all to me seems like GK Pro couldn't do coverage for the Pro Tour anymore.
No, but I think
the Pro Tour was trying to like they were selling tickets for the OTB skins and all of that stuff. So the Pro Tour was getting close to owning GK Pro in a lot of ways, where the GK Pro couldn't function without the Pro Tour, and this was their option of like, if we want to do something for ourselves, this is our best bet. And they just threw it at the wall this year, and they made the decision back in like November, and just kind of like, hey, here we go, let's send it, frick it. That's what it feels like. That could be completely wrong, but that's what this all feels like. And so I think that they don't really, they're answering the questions we're asking
just running and gunning
as it's going.
Yeah.
Because the only one that's advertising the purse is Eagles Crossing, advertises the $50,000 purse.
But I think when they first announced the tour, there was like minimum purses or something like that.
I just can't find that information anymore.
It might have been in their announcement. If you find their original announcement, I don't know.
Who knows? I would like to have seen. You know what? Let's just see if Google's AI throws out a number.
No way.
No, it did not.
Not even close.
That'd have been fun.
Not even close.
I don't know. We'll find out more information, I'm sure, as the year goes on, and as stuff happens. But you know, I think that you're right. If the money's there, the players will be there. There's also like certain players will always be there because of the coverage opportunity. Of like James Conrad got on a feature card. He's not going to get on a ton of feature cards this year.
For sure.
That is 100,000 views of exposure, because like 76,000 in 20 hours, they're probably already closer to 100,000 because of how YouTube doesn't actually show you the true view number on this side of the table. So they're probably already close to 100,000, meaning this will probably end up getting 150 to 200,000 views over time. If I had to guess, it could end up stalling at like 125 to 130. But regardless, that's a lot of views and a lot of exposure if you're James Conrad for MVP.
Absolutely.
And so that's something where like that level of pro is not going to take money to get them there.
No, that'll be a dogfight.
It's the Isaac Robinson, Gannon Burr, where they're going to get on feature cards throughout the year, and they're going to get plenty of coverage throughout the year. It's going
to depend where their heads are at too.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be like, some weeks there might be some guys who sit on the fence, and then it's like Gannon, for instance, coming off of an event that he wasn't very happy with, maybe rehabbing some like injuries. he is probably just like feeling like he needs to play that to get a little confidence, a little mojo going.
Well, it is a very risk-free.
Yeah, and also he's obsessed with disc golf, so that doesn't really surprise me either. But like, there might be some players who will just kind of get to that point and be like, do I feel like playing this tournament, or do I not?
If you're a player who's traveling in a van or just driving week to week, why not?
Yeah,
because either you're gonna go practice Waco,
disc golf, or or just play that.
You're
course.
either gonna go practice Waco for an extra week,
right?
Which if it's a new tour event, sure, send it. But if it's Waco,
they know it.
You know Waco.
Yeah, although
they have a new course.
I was saying there's a new course, but isn't it a golf course?
I think it's what they played last year.
Oh right.
Yeah. So you know it.
Yeah.
You don't need but a week to discover it. So what else are you doing this weekend?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to pretend like you need an extra week to practice for Waco.
No. So that's to me where I think this fits. I think the only thing that you're going to lose players on is like any players who are like worried about injury or overuse or just want a week off. And that's where as you get later in the tour, that can become more frequent of like.
There'll be fatigue there.
Yeah. I just need a week off.
No doubt.
But there will always be a group of players that players will go play C tiers. So like if you're giving $1,000 to the winner, some tour players are showing up.
Absolutely.
It's just the big names, and they already have players committed because like every tour graphic has. I should not have went back to that one.
Hit him with it.
Sorry. Every tour graphic on here, like every stop has players' faces. So like if I go to tour schedule, like you can see. Of course, I go to the wrong tour schedule. How do I get where I want to go?
You can't. I saw it. We have me as witness.
Okay, I think this is where I want to go. Okay, Persimmon Ridge has Big Germ, Calvin, Kevin Jones, Joey Buckets as like the four faces.
They got commitments.
Every event has like some type of commitment like that.
Yeah. Will
the players hold it? We'll find out. But very excited to at least have more coverage. Regardless of how the back end tour goes, the coverage was great. You got to see, players you wouldn't typically see. Like I'm sure round 2 is going to have Raven Newsom and Emerson Keith on lead card. You get to see them.
Man.
Also, Ace Run Pro is supposed to be doing like chase card coverage, so you'll definitely get some people there. So like you're going to get to see players that you don't typically see.
It's never bad having more coverage out there.
And for us disc golfers, it's free coverage on weekends in between Pro Tour events. So it's a win-win from that perspective. It's just it's a lot of question on regards to the tour perspective. But I'm sure we'll find out as the year goes on. So it's time for the fan favorite segment, Trevor's Trivia, right after these messages.
All right, that was alarmingly loud.
Thank you.
We got a pretty simple one today. I'm just curious to see how you can do with this.
I'm excited.
The prompt is simple. So I've got a list. UDisc actually did this last fall. They basically did like a grid where they show every single major winner ever.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious to know how many different MPO major winners you can name.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see how many you can get.
Well, we'll start easy. Paul Macbeth, Ricky Wysocki, Will Schustrick, Isaac Robinson, Chris Dickerson, James Conrad. Let's keep going through the modern era. Gannon Burr, Andrew Presnell. Don't forget. Champions Cup. Okay, I feel like that's a lot of the modern era.
You know, this might help you out. So there is 2 people in the 10+ category. It breaks it down by category. So
Paul and Ken.
Correct. And then I'll just say there are 3 in the 5 to 9, 2 in the 4, 3 in the 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the 2, and then it looks like 12 or so in the 1. So like there's a ton in the 1 category.
I think I'm 8 in so far. So I already just named Paul and Kenny. Barry Schultz, we'll throw in.
He's in that 5 to 9 category.
Nate Doss, we'll throw in.
Yeah, he's in the 4 category.
I already got Schustrick.
He was the other one in the 4 category. You have 2 of the 3 in the 3 category. You got Gannon and Isaac.
In the 3 category?
Yeah.
Gannon, Isaac. Who else has 3?
And you're missing 1.
Well, Dave Feldberg's won majors. I don't know if he's
the last one in the 5 to 9.
Okay.
So you have the 10+, the 5 to 9, the 4. You're missing 1 in the 3 category.
The 3 category.
And then
who's won 3 majors? Just 3.
It's kind of tough. I think at this point in the game, you're better off rattling off names than trying to think about who won that many.
Avery Jenkins, I haven't.
That was
yet.
the 3 category.
Avery, wow.
Because I think he won Japan like twice.
I always forget those weird ones.
Okay, so now you just have the 2 category, 1 category, and you already said Conrad.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the 2 category. I already said
Dickerson.
He was also in the 2 category.
These are gonna be the hardest ones.
All the you got.
Okay, well, I think
there's certain tournaments you can think of that will help you a lot more than others.
Well, like Worlds. There's been several people that won Worlds.
There's another,
Ron Russell.
Hey, there you go. He's got 1.
Yep. What other tournaments? Australian Open. Oh, Eagle McMahon.
He has 2.
European Open, and what else did he win? Kona Pichte when I was a major.
Yeah.
Who else has won majors? Already named Rick. Boy.
Maybe go down the U.S. line.
Okay.
That's going to help
USDGC, have I missed anyone from USDGC?
Yeah.
Kyle Klein.
Kyle Klein. He's in the 1.
Who else have I missed from? Nico LaCastro.
He is in the 2 category. So the 2 category.
Steve Brinster.
Brinster's in the 1 category.
Who else have I missed from USDGC? Who else has hoisted that thing? Not many more people. Because I already got Ken, I already got Paul, I got Schustrick, I already got Brinster.
I think you're missing 2 that were pretty close together.
In USDGC?
Yeah, I don't think you said them yet, but you may have. Just maybe run back through them.
I don't know.
You definitely know them, so.
Well, Gannon Burr, Kyle Klein, Paul Macbeth, Chris Dickerson. Oh, Nate Sexton. And Big Germ. Yeah.
Okay.
I missed both of those.
There you go. So now you've kind of got the USDGC ones that you should have gotten.
So who else do I have left?
So you're still missing a world champ that you definitely should get. You're missing 2 world champs that are in the.
Oh, Eric McCabe.
There's one of them.
Who's the other world champ I'm missing?
Another one that is pretty recent in the last decade.
The last decade? Well, I mean, Paul, starting the decade off. Barsby.
Yeah,
Greg Barsby.
Okay, so at this point, I would just start throwing out throwback names. That's kind of your only chance to get any other ones.
Harold Duvall won a Worlds.
Hey, he's in the 2 category. So you only have 2 names left in the 2 category. There's one that you probably would get. There's other ones very tough.
We had Ron Russell, Harold Duvall. Who else is
Any
back
other
there?
old names you remember? There's only a couple that you would even pull out at this point.
No clue.
One guy has a plastic named after him, allegedly.
Oh, Cam Todd. Great one. CT.
Yeah.
Fun fact for y'all. Doesn't mean crazy tough. Originally meant Cam Todd. Fun. Well, that's not really a fun fact. That's a fun fact that's been told to me by several different people, but never verified.
Another one of these guys owned or owns a disc golf company. Kind of a niche one. 2 majors.
Niche one?
Under his belt.
2 majors?
Not a name you hear anymore in disc golf.
Steve Rico?
Steve Rico.
What majors did he win?
A couple random ones. I'll find. I think he has a.
Did Greenwell win a major? David Greenwell?
Not sure if I saw his name on here. I don't believe so. No.
He must have only won master stuff.
I think Rico has a U.S. title, if I remember correctly. But
am I missing anyone else I could get?
No, Rico won 2 Japan Opens.
Heck yeah, let's go.
No, you've got most of them. So I'll just tell you, Jesper Lundmark was the last one in the 2 category.
I wouldn't have got him.
And then in the 1 category, John Ahart, Sam Farrens. You'd only know him from being like the youngest.
Yeah, I would have got Sam. I wouldn't have got Sam. But
Johnny Cius, Jeff Watson, and Steve Wisecup. So those are all the old ones. So you did, you cleared it up pretty good.
I got most of the ones I could have gotten.
Not bad.
Sam Farrens, I think, is the only other one.
All the old heads were yelling, man.
I would have had to dig deep.
Sam Farens. Oh my goodness, he won at the age of 12.
I think he won at 18.
Yeah.
But okay, so we're starting a competition against Tour Life. The rivalry's back. We dominated them in merch sales. You can still go shop Gripblocks merch on foundationdisc.com. But we're now going to dominate them in player pick'em. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to try to I'm editing today, so have some grace with me. I'm going to try to throw this picture on the screen while I'm talking about it. But if it doesn't happen, I'm sorry.
Then it means you forgot.
So basically, what's going to happen is we're going to do our pick'em collectively here, and we're going to do it separate.
Some that I absolutely love.
We're going to do it
list.
separate from our preview show picks, which we'll do for Waco later, because we're trying to pick the top 3 here. This is basically working where we get points if players get in the top 10, and then how far up the top 10 they get earns us more points.
Yeah.
So we're trying to land players in the top 10. We have to build a team of 3 MPO players and 3 FPO players with a budget of $10
You better put
each.
this graphic on the screen. They're going to murder you.
So there's basically 4 different tiers. You have a $7 tier, a $4 tier, a $2 tier, and then the $1 tier basically is the rest of the field. Is how that works.
Okay.
So we're looking at Waco first.
Well, let me. I think we should start by throwing out who we think are steals, and I'll tell you, number 1, Eagle McMahon at $2.
At Waco, though?
In general, I'm just saying if we want to throw in Eagle and Gannon, that is a pretty darn good team. I think the other route you would go is like Calvin at $4 is pretty good.
See, what I don't hate is you can get 2 $4 players.
Yeah.
And a $2 player.
Gosh. Oh, that's true. Oh yeah. Because you got to get. Oh yeah, because then you'd have to pick. I forget you're doing 3 players.
So like, if
I don't
hate.
I don't hate Paul in the $4.
Well, if you go the Robinson brothers, you could go the Robinson brothers and Eagles.
Isaac.
I mean, but you also Paul over Heimberg, Dickerson, Ezra.
Dude, I like Paul's game right now
At Waco.
He's won it before.
Let's verify Paul's playing Waco. Let's actually start here before we pick, because this is for the next 5 tournaments. So let's make sure.
Wait, this lineup is for the next 5 tournaments?
Because he's going to update it every 5 based on the PDJ standings.
Well, I mean, we better stay away from the likes of Paul McBeth. You're surely not.
No, not our lineup.
Oh.
The lineup
pricing.
of the pricing.
I understood.
The pricing lineup.
I'm like, well, gosh dang.
No, the pricing lineup is for the next 5 tournaments.
Okay.
So we will have this same pricing options multiple times. Paul McBeth is playing.
Dude, I like Paul. And Ezra is in the what category?
$4.
Yeah, so we take Paul, Ezra, and Eagle.
We can go Paul, Ezra, Eagle.
I
What
feel
did
like
Eagle
that's
do at
dirty.
Waco last year?
Last year is irrelevant.
What is Eagle's history at Waco?
He might not even play at Waco.
Eagle's
Didn't
not
he
playing.
Win it?
Eagle's not playing Waco this year.
Oh, he's not even playing at all?
So
what?
we'll
Why?
stay away from him. No Eagle McMahon.
Okay, then we can take Isaac.
Well, no, we can't. If we're taking Paul and Ezra, we got to take someone from the $2 tier. So we could take Joey. We could take Joey Buckets. We could take Simon. Gavin
I don't
Babcock.
hate Joey Buckets at all.
You think Joey?
Is he playing?
Let's look at Joseph Anderson.
Him or the Goose, maybe?
Joey Buckets is playing. Goose scares me with his putting.
I would agree. I like Joey Anderson.
Okay, I think we go. Okay, so our picks for
he feels
MPO,
like a Waco winner.
He does. Waco's wacko and typically favors forehands, I feel like.
Yeah.
So we're going Paul McBeth, Ezra Robinson, and Joseph Anderson. That's our 3.
Yeah.
All right. That's our $10 team. Okay, now for
I like
FPO.
that.
So we can take Kristen, but if we take Kristen, we got to take someone from a tier 3 and tier 4. We're just trying to pick top 10.
I mean,
so
it's own in tier 4 has to be a must get.
Own. Do we go Cat Merch?
Oh yeah, own and Cat merch.
Cat, and do we go Silva Saarinen?
Yeah,
our lineup?
yeah. Oh yeah, totally. They're all 3 going to be in the top 10.
Scoggins right there, Cat Merch right there, Silva Saarinen.
Yeah,
I think that's our team.
That's like a no-brainer, I feel like.
Own Scoggins, Cat Merch, and Silva Saarinen.
Yeah, because I mean, if you take Kristen, what do you end up with? Lucky Lorenzen and Lisa Fakis. Is that what I'm seeing?
It's the rest of the field.
Oh, rest of the
so
field.
You can pick anyone else.
Oh,
Those are the 2 pictures there. But
okay, we might have to keep on. We want to stay on our toes though. Make sure he's not missing anybody interesting. You know.
Yeah, I'm happy with these.
Well, hold the phone. Where's Holland Hanley?
Where is Holland Hanley?
Is she not on here?
She a free $1?
Dude, they're not gonna sneak. They're not gonna notice it.
Brody might listen to this. He did miss. Did he miss? No, Holland's right there. She's wearing an OTB hat. You just miss her.
Couldn't see her from this angle. Dang it.
Well, she's normally in a different hat.
I was gonna say, Edwin,
Edwin's not gonna slip like
slipping like that would have been.
Although
crazy.
Edwin did slip a little bit, I got to call him out. Manufacturers Cup. He did put. I think Paige Pierce over Missy Gannon on Discraft's team for the Manufacturers Cup.
That is
week.
Crazy work.
So he did miss that one.
Crazy work.
So Edwin will eventually miss, but not today. Today is not that day.
I'm excited about this little scrap.
So we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. I would
right.
imagine Tour Life's going to end up pretty close, similar teams.
They'll probably take different dudes. For sure they will.
Yeah.
For sure they will.
And I could see them being like, Kristen's a sure pick. Let's get Kristen, and then let's go like Haley King. Or, I mean, they might go Kristen, Silva, and then anyone from the dollar tier. Because, like, you could go with like a Paige Shue.
I don't trust Kristen in this event, man.
I don't either. She scares me.
I don't trust her.
The only thing we could be looking at is Ella Hansen is in the $4 tier. Almost won this, so we replaced Cat Merch with Ella Hansen.
I would sooner replace Own. Cat Merch has been playing good golf.
I think we leave it. I like it. I like it. Let's trust. In Own, we trust.
Own Revenge Tour.
Okay. Well, that's all of our notes. So let's get into some Instagram questiones.
Let's do that.
Let's see here. I haven't looked at these yet, so we're just going to go. I'm going to scroll to the bottom so that we get the oldest ones, the people who are the most diehards.
Yeah.
Well, first off, Not Mad Disappointed wants to know, are we locked in?
Yeah, that's why it's called Grip Locked.
Okay, we're locked in.
I actually am locked in.
This is a great question. I want to know. Sean Rutledge said, do you think Discraft would be as big as they are today if they signed Simon instead of Paul?
No, but well, it would have looked different.
It'd be a lot
Paul
different.
had a lot of aura when that switch came about. And the big thing was that when Paul moved, it gobbled up so much market share so fast at the right time. So it's the timing, right? And new disc golfers, they didn't know about Simon. The new disc golfers looked to the best, and they saw Paul there. And that's why they gobbled up so much market share. He was the Tiger Woods. So I'm going to say no. Maybe eventually, but no. I don't think so.
No, I got to agree. I think that
what happened was really special.
I think what Discraft would have grown significantly, but you also have to think timing-wise, Simon's YouTube channel was not at the level it is. Simon might not even had a YouTube channel in 2019.
Yeah, you got to remember, this was a long time ago.
When this happened.
Simon was popular.
If we're looking at modern move, like if we could take modern Simon back then, I still say no, mainly because I don't think Discraft would have the same reputation when it comes to, like, when Paul switched, he had this like professionalism era around him where he was like Mr. Buttoned Up, Mr. like make disc golf look like athletic, like all of that.
He was the perfect storm for the COVID wave that came in. He put a professional face on the sport that resonated with people when they saw his face.
Whereas Simon has a ton of fans and is massive, but he has a much more like he's one of my buddies feeling. Not like he's a superstar I look up to feeling. So I think Discraft wouldn't have been able to build the pro team at the level they've built with Simon.
And this is coming from the guys that rode Simon Lizotte meet and greet on our
I'm a huge Simon fan.
Stall at the Disc Expo.
Yeah, Simon. I'm a huge Simon stan.
He definitely, Simon obviously has the most pull within the sport of disc golf now. But if you take it back in time and change things around. Yeah. Good question, though.
Yeah, I think it's a great question.
Man, I might have to throw that on debate night.
Yeah.
That's fire. I'm going to start writing these down.
This is more of just a fun idea. Parker said we should do a whatnot stream on the disc golf course, and if we don't birdie, we have to auction off our disc.
Dude, you don't even know. That just brought up some... Whenever it was just Silas and I last week, this would be a little sneak peek for you guys. I invented a format that put me in a painful place and related to some of the discs in my bag.
Did you go play with it? Did you shoot a video with it, or you just like...
Oh, yeah, we shot a video.
You and Silas shot a video?
Yeah,
that's electric.
It's a great video.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that happened.
It is a shocking format that I want you and Connor to go through.
Wow. But I like the whatnot stream idea.
That is a fun idea, just straight up.
Just like, okay, I didn't make birdie.
It's kind of going to happen in the aggregate.
Okay.
Via what happened to me, but live on the course would be funny. Like, literally, we're live, and it's like, you missed.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like everyone's rooting for you to miss the putt. It's like as soon as you miss it.
That's sick. That might just have to be like, we can throw that into what I shot. That's kind of funny.
This Alan wants to know, because we haven't started doing this yet, but he wants to know how heavily, if at all, will Go Throw Tour performances weigh in when making our top 10 power ranking.
Yeah, what power rankings? We got to do that on.
It was only one event in.
Yeah.
So we can't.
Well, I'm saying usually we have them before the season even starts.
We did forget to do the preseason power ranking.
Yeah, we're all in our game. I think it will weigh in for slight nudges if two players we're cross comparing, we're both at one of them, and we're like really looking for something, then that could be like a nudge.
Yeah.
But like big scale,
it'll be more like
you guys know us when we're on Statmando and we're doing our little cross comparisons. It's not gonna pop up.
If it's not on
there.
Statmando, we're not gonna see it.
If it's not between the range of April to June or whatever we decide, doesn't matter.
Well, I think where it could weigh in is like if we're trying to force a narrative to make Gannon like the best player in the world, and we're like, but you got to factor his go throw wins.
The narratives are gonna get disgusting for like player of the year. Gannon sweeps the go throw tour. Imagine this.
Well, here's the good thing is. The Disc Golf Pro Tour won't factor it, and the PDGA can't factor it.
No.
So the Player of the Year awards that are handed out, neither can even have a go throw argument.
Gannon sweeps. How many go throws is there? 5?
Maybe more. I don't know.
Let's say there's 5. Let's just say he wins 5. And then let's just use Calvin Heimberg as an example. Let's say Calvin doesn't win any of them. He's at all of them, loses to Gannon in all of them. And then in the Pro Tour, Gannon only has 3 wins to Calvin's 5, but then Gannon has an additional 5 wins against Calvin on this other tour. It would get vicious. It would get vicious.
It all come down to the majors.
None of them won any majors. Calvin surely didn't. We know that. Calvin's winning a major. Dude, I hope Calvin and Rick both win a major this year. No, only one.
I want Rick.
I'm down for one. Yeah, I'm down for one of those streaks to end.
I want Rick to win a major so that Calvin thinks he has to switch to Discraft to win a major.
Yeah, I want to see Calvin win a major eventually. But
I do too.
At the
love
right
Calvin.
time. Yeah, because it is fun to have those things.
Mitchell Crowley said, "What would you say is more attractive to companies, competitive presence or social media?"
Social media.
Well, I think it depends on what the company wants.
Whichever one moves plastic. They want dollars.
Well, also, are we talking inside company or outside company? Outside company, you can very easily make an argument that they're more attracted to social media, just given on you got influencers doing ad reads or stuff that's never even thought about advertising on the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for us, like I'm looking at Element Water back there. We did some for Magic Mind, AG1, Mudwater, DraftKings, Bear Mat. Like none of that's touched the Pro Tour.
Yeah.
How much of it is they don't know Disc Golf Pro Tour exists, and how much of it is they can advertise with us for X amount, and they had to multiply that by like 10 in some cases to advertise with Pro Tour.
And it's also like we're on YouTube, which is just an easier
and direct
platform.
confusion. You can measure the ROI.
Right.
But if you're looking at inside disc golf companies, most disc golf companies have it the other way, where they're going to throw money
at the wise ones.
They're going to throw money at the Pro Tour first, influencers second.
Yeah. Look at MVP though.
But MVP knows what they're doing. They know what's up.
Doing. There has to be a tasteful balance with those things, because like you do want to reward the players for playing well, and most of them get bonuses for that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, you want to sell plastic.
Tyler Boddicker said, "Is Brody ever going to take?"
Heiser Club member mentioned.
He is. Is Brody ever going to take disc golf seriously again, contending at disc golf pro tours, training, will to win, etc.?
No,
I don't think so. I think he's
old.
He's gonna play a few tour events, but I think it's just like he's coming to terms of like to do it at the level with his age.
He gave it a really good shot
that he would have to.
He made the Pro Tour playoffs, man. Like that
he
one.
He was a top 20 player.
Yeah, saying like
2 years into playing. At one time, he was top 20.
Top 30.
I think he got in the top 20.
He may have entered the top 20. I don't know about it. Said he was top 20 player, but in any case,
yeah.
he was in the he was pretty decent. He had some top 5s. Like,
yeah,
he gave it a good run. But the dude, his body's kind of left him behind. The touring life is not. It's not an old man's game.
No, because that's the other thing is disc golf's hard on the body. Whether you it doesn't feel it.
Guys dragging a cart around these days, man.
True. Yeah.
These things happen. You're next.
I'm not next.
Yeah.
No, I'll retire before I drag a cart.
The cart's going to drag you.
Yeah, the cart would drag me.
Get one of those Segway things that follows you around.
Let's see. Logan Rand said, "Is it easier to score better when you're making all your putts or getting a lot of tap-ins?"
Making the same. How many do you have of each?
I'm gonna just say.
For me, it's when I'm making all my putts.
I'm gonna say it's making all of your putts mainly because I don't know if the essence is it's the same with just how you asked it. But I'm assuming
it sounds like
if I'm having a bunch of drop-ins, then my next putt I need to make is gonna be nervy. Versus if I'm reining in 25 footers left and right. Yeah. Then I'm more likely going to score better.
Typically, scoring well equates to you're making all of you're throwing it decent, but you're making things inside of 35 feet. Because I know what it's like to only be able to score whenever you have tap-ins, and you don't score very well. even at the easiest of courses.
Well, but I think if you have a lot of tap-ins for birdie, it's great. It means you're throwing the disc very well, but your putt can get cold, and then when you need to make putts, it can be terrifying. Disc Golf Micah said, "Who is the Steph Curry of disc golf? Not the GOAT, but the best shooter ever." Is what he's so basically like, who is phenomenal at one thing, but they're not the GOAT.
I mean, Steph Curry would probably be on like my Mount Rushmore of basketball at this point. So
I'm gonna say Ricky Wysocki.
Maybe Rick.
Mainly because when Ricky's putter is on,
not nearly as decorated.
No, he's not nearly as decorated. But his career still has plenty of time. But when Ricky's putter is on, I don't know if I've seen someone putting the way Ricky putts. Similar to
Paul McBeth.
2015 Paul.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, Ricky, there is something.
There's another one. Most disc golfers that are at that level, when they're at their best putting, they just do not miss the basket inside of 50 feet.
Ricky has something that's just like mind-boggling.
Rick and Steph is not the worst. Like that's about right as far as like skill and like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's a tough analogy, but I get it. They're probably about the same height.
Oh, Josh Alcock, High Club member, wants to know, what do you think someone needs to do to deserve their own line of discs? Prime bad example, he said, Kevin Jones.
Be able to sell them. That is literally it. Most companies will not just do it on that merit. Obviously, they're promising most like disc lines to major champions, top players in the world. But yeah, I mean it's just a way for them to show a player their commitment, but then also make sure they're getting paid. So they have to be assured that the player is, I guess, popular enough that they'll move the discs, and then they also have to be committing enough money to the players that it's worthwhile for them to be like, hey, we probably need to make a whole new line of discs to be able to pay this guy.
I don't know how I feel about the model in the sport, mainly because
of your own line of discs.
Yeah, your own line, like the Simon line. Eagle kinda has a line, but not really. Like the Thrill.
It's just a more effective way of marketing.
But the Paul
something
line,
like
the
a
Page line,
disc. It's just more effective.
The James Conrad line. Well, but the thing for me that's weird is you have players under like, you're not entering business agreements with players. You're entering like contracts. So like you have
right.
Paul's like original deal for like 4 years. I think his line started with that. Like, what if Paul would have left after the 4 years?
Well, ask Tiger Woods.
Did he have his own line?
TW brand was a Nike affiliated brand, and now he has his own company.
But I'm saying, like, did he ever have clubs?
No. He,
because like merch and stuff, I get it. That makes perfect sense.
He does right now. There are blades you can buy from TaylorMade that are like TW for Tiger Woods.
But how are they advertising them? I guess I don't know anything about it.
I mean, they're advertising.
Like in disc golf,
that's the point. The point is that these are the clubs Tiger Woods plays now.
But I'm saying if they were able to, Tiger Woods leaves and they take the TW off.
It's way more specialized, though. Yes, they took a club that would probably already exist, and Rory may have already been playing it, and they threw his name on it. Golf is definitely much more, here is our flagship driver. All of our pros hit this driver. All of our pros love this driver. But that's different because they're only selling one club. Disc golf, they're trying to sell so many different molds.
But I guess the thing for me
no golfer has their own golf ball
when
either.
We're thinking long term, like how many, I don't know. I guess it's just a weird one to me of like where the lines get drawn. Because then, like, eventually, if we keep this model, then every popular player is going to expect a line of disc with their manufacturer. Yeah. And then if you have Ricky, where you have, the Saki Bomb line, and now he can't have that anymore because now he's with Discraft, and Discraft's making him a putter. It's just a weird one to me.
It is weird. I mean, it's totally a company to company, like I said, trying to make their money. I say in other sports, like, the examples that are out there is, like...
shoes, basketball.
Sure, shoes. If you are hockey players, you can buy sticks that have, like, their same curve on them. In baseball, you can get gloves that are specialized to like be like another player's glove.
If I bought, like, I played in LeBron shoes and then I played in Steph Curry shoes, but like the shoes didn't change my game. They didn't change the way I played.
Yeah, shoes isn't the best
Simon
example.
line time lapse. If I'm an MVP thrower, like that could be like I become where I need that disc.
Right, they can just design a different shoe. It's just a shoe. It doesn't fly different than another shoe.
Exactly. Right. Yes. Yeah, it's still like you're still just putting a logo on.
I think that most companies do focus on moving stock product and tying the stock product to the player much more, which I think is what disc golf used to do a lot more, much more than
I feel like that's
tying a player to a product.
I feel like that's the long-term growth model is like if you can get players
well, they're just trying
tied
to get
to your stock.
That's just it, right? They're just trying to get these contracts.
Yeah, I just feel like that's a bad idea.
Now, I will say with Paul and Simon, you've got kind of retirement type deals for those guys. It's a little different.
But then still, now what happens when Paul retires? He's done playing disc golf.
Yeah.
How long are those molds still in circulation?
I don't know.
Like, how long do you keep making the Zeus? Because short term, everyone in disc golf is going to know exactly who Paul is.
Yeah.
But then, like,
does it matter though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's an interesting one.
I guess it matters from the case of like you're still paying him off of every one of those with like, and then what if AB is the next guy up and AB loves the Malta?
Yeah.
And it's like a weird one of like, well, now I got to pay 2 players or put AB's name on the Malta.
Yeah, it gets crowded for sure.
Parker Welk said, every time you guys bring my name up, it's negative.
That's not true.
Let's try something positive this week.
Listen, Parker.
Lies.
The one time I saw you send it to us on Instagram, I was just making a joke about Hunter's spreadsheet. I wasn't dismissing your presence on the disc golf tour. I like you. We hung out that one time. And by that, I mean we, like, met. Right? In California?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's my statement.
I didn't know if you had any other stuff.
No, that was my statement. I like my statement
I
is,
thought it was funny.
I like Parker Welk. Let's just establish right now, this is a pro Parker
You know
Welk
what? I'm going to
podcast.
change my bio. My bio used to say Colward Allen #1 fan. I've been looking for something else to put it in. Twitter bio now says...
Did we only meet him in California? No. Did we only meet him in California?
We might have met him at USDGC. I don't know.
I swear I met him another time. Maybe I'm just so confused now.
My Twitter bio now says Parker Welk Stan. I'll just say
because
fan.
we talked to him.
We talked to him in California.
I interviewed him.
You interviewed him.
I interviewed him. I was going to say, I have talked to Parker Welk a lot more than my brain was recollecting. We talked on my show.
My Twitter bio now says Parker Welk fan.
He came on my show. I'm a double Parker Welk pro podcast. You will not hear you can do anything you want. You have the go card. You can run somebody over, and we will say it was their fault on this podcast.
All right. We are pro Parker Welk. We need to let Connor know.
Full immunity. Actually, let's not let him know. Let's freak out on him. Let's
That
bait him
funny.
into it. Be like, oh, did you see like what Parker Welk did in the news? Like, oh yeah, he did, and like just say something like that isn't true. And then if he like makes a bad comment, be like, whoa, just kind of like we did last week with the whole Paul thing.
I don't know what you're talking about there. Connor was way out of line. Graham Clausen wants to know, why is Hunter always wearing a hat?
What?
Basically, I shave my head.
We can.
I just buzz my head because I can always wear a hat. So then I don't have to get my hair ready ever.
I'll be honest with you, like, I just think I look better in a hat. I just enjoy wearing a hat.
Yeah, I just don't like having to worry about what my hair looks
Correct.
like ever.
Yeah.
And if you just put a hat on,
We have the luxury
There you
of
go.
working a job where we're allowed to, so we abuse that. Well, we don't abuse it. We take advantage of that luxury.
yeah. I mean, why not always wear a hat?
Yeah, why not? If you have an awesome head of hair that you want to show off, then don't wear a hat. I don't. Hunt just shaves his head down. He could. He doesn't. And so here we are.
Yeah, I
Get
typically,
over it.
I
Graham?
typically get a little. Is this Graham who works for
Yeah,
us?
what? Absolutely peeking the mic.
I don't
It
know
is.
Graham's
I'm
last
pretty
name.
sure it is.
He's a gateway guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. What the frick, Graham?
I thought I knew him. He
I
was
thought
on
the
my
same
team.
thing. I thought the same thing, and I was like, "What is going on here, Graham?"
Oh my gosh, bro. The next time I see him,
He better not be wearing a hat.
If he's wearing a hat, oh my god.
He normally is at the warehouse whenever I see him.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Graham, man. Is that thing glued to your head, bro?
Yeah, why are you always wearing a hat, Graham?
I sent out a memo. Hey, if you see Graham and he's wearing a hat, give him just the worst.
I was just
for
messaging
it.
Slack and be like, "Hey, Graham, why are you always wearing a hat?"
Guy's a punk, dude.
Okay, we'll go with like one more question here. I'm trying to pick a good one. There's so many questions. We're gonna have to do this again.
I know. These questions are fire.
Okay, we'll just finish with this one's a basic one, but we'll just end it. Favorite disc from each company. Chase Snyder wants
Sounds
to know.
like
We'll do each major company. So Discraft, favorite disc, Passion.
Stalker.
Innova, Thunderbird.
Rock. 3.
Discmania, MD3.
P3X.
We'll go trilogy. So dynamic, latitude, west side.
Raider. Haven't thrown the new one yet.
I'm going to go with the Pure. Prodigy, M4. PA3. That's probably what I should have taken, but I'll let you take it.
Probably I was going to say PA4.
PA4. What other companies am I missing? MVP, Hex.
Time lapse.
DGA. Quake.
Quake.
Anyone else I'm missing?
Surely.
I mean, I'm missing some of the niche ones.
Yeah, I don't think we miss any of the big ones.
But I don't think I'm missing any big ones.
Every time we make statements like that, it makes me really. I start sweating, man. These people, we got auditors in our comments just firing at all cylinders.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gents. That's going to wrap up Grip Lock for this week. Hopefully you enjoyed. We will talk to you again next Monday.
Actually,
nope. We'll talk to you again for the preview show.
There it is.